Yes, I walked out of this movie, but it made me so mad, I'm making a video on it anyway.
That's it. That's my intro.
Hey, man, you're watching Swell Entertainment, and today we are talking about The Strangers, Chapter 1. I have not made a video on a movie that I have walked out of in literal years. I think the last one was 2018 or 2019, and it was, God, what, Good Boys, was that it? And that movie in particular got me a lot of angry comments from teenage boys. I have since read the synopsis of the ending of the movie. Other YouTubers have actually finished watching the movie. Mr. Gigi is one of them, did a full review. If you want to go watch their videos, totally cool, but I want to complain about things, okay? Because I love horror movies, okay? I really do. And I actually like the original Strangers. I like it a lot. I never saw Pray at Night because I didn't want to. The Strangers Chapter 1. I was like, okay, I'll go see it. I like Madeline. She seems cool, okay? She seems fun. But I love horror movies, and I was in Indiana, okay, for the Indy 500 a week or so ago now. And on Legends Day, I left early because there was going to rain. And I was like, you know what? I got some time to kill. I want to relax and be offline for a little bit. So I'm going to go see a movie and take advantage of AMC A-List working in literally any single state. And I decided to go see the Strangers Chapter 1. But really quick, let me tell you about the sponsor for today's video, Aura. With the nature of what I do for I tried it so you don't have to, a lot of companies have various emails from me. And though I usually opt out once I'm done with the video or I just move everything to spam, I'm convinced that so many of these companies just end up selling their emailing lists. And that can be one of the many ways that my personal information is getting into the hands of data brokers. Data brokers are making a fortune selling your personal information, from your home address, your full legal name, your social security number, even something as simple as your buying habits or the random Instagram shop that you gave your money to. Thing is that legally, data brokers have to stop selling your information if you ask them to, but they make it incredibly difficult to do so, and that's one of the ways that Aura can help. Aura will not just identify the data brokers that are profiting off of your information, but they will submit automatic opt-out requests on your behalf so you don't have to worry about it. Aura helps clean up my personal information online, and that helps not just protect me from hackers and bad actors, but also just limits the amount of spam that I get. Aura has a ton of great features that you usually get from various apps all in one app, like VPNs, parental controls, credit monitoring, and so much more, all at one affordable price. I value my privacy and yours. Go to aura.com/swell to get started with a 2-week free trial. You can also click the link in my description box. Again, that's aura.com/swell, and thank you again to Aura for sponsoring this video. Now, The Strangers Chapter 1, why is it called Chapter 1? Let me explain the new Strangers movies to you. This is from the Wikipedia article, by the way. The Strangers Chapter 1 is a 2024 American horror film that is the third film in the Strangers film series and the first installment of an intended relaunch in the form of a standalone trilogy. Plans for a consecutively shot trilogy of Strangers films was announced in August 2022 by the original film's producer, Roy Lee. Harlan was announced as the director of all 3 of the following month, with most of the cast joining soon after. Production on the films took place in Bratislava between September and November that year, often alternating daily between which of the 3 chapters were being shot. There's 3 movies that were all filmed, written together essentially, and then chopped up, filmed back to back, or filmed concurrently, it seems. And then we're just getting the first chapter, which is the first act of the overall film itself, is how I heard it described. I can get behind that. I like fun production schedules and concepts like that. Okay, I do find there is interest in that. Like, for example, I liked X and Pearl being filmed back to back. I was very impressed with those movies. So I was like, okay, I don't like the idea of the way this released, because in this instance, I do think a rolling release would be a good way to do it. Like maybe Strangers Chapter 1, month later Chapter 2, month later Chapter 3, or even cooler in a sense, do something crazy where you put all 3 in theaters in one go. Crazy, insane, would never do it, but it would be really cool. You make an event out of your horror movie, you know, like you make it so it's like it's a marathon experience. Would never happen, but I don't know, I want someone to do it. I'll do it. Someone give me money. This can work, okay? And like I said, I like the original Strangers movies, which came out in 2008. The second one I believe came out in 2018, Pray at Night, which is a whole different story essentially, but I'm just gonna refer to this movie as Chapter 1 so that I don't get confused with the original Strangers movie, okay? Their tagline is "They don't need a reason," because for those who don't know, the original Stranger movie, the Strangers movie, spoiler alert, the chilling moment of the movie is where they're like, why are you doing this to us? And they say, because you were here, because you were home. The whole point is about the randomness of crime and all of that. You were here. They wanted to hurt someone, you know, that type of thing. So the whole concept of they don't need a reason Great, cool. The thing is that this movie, they give them a reason. There's very clearly a reason with this movie, and I don't think it's a good one. We've got an opening kill of a man, okay, running through the woods, dressed nice, okay, gets killed off screen by the strangers. Honestly, mistake. Right off the bat, I would not reveal the strangers to the audience in this format. I love an on-screen kill before a title card. My favorite thing ever. I love an extended opening. I love an on-screen kill, okay? Like, you know something's coming, but the characters don't know. They show us the strangers, and then they show them killing this guy behind a tree. We don't even see the guy die. Mistake. I think it would have been much more impactful, frankly, for us, the audience, to be introduced to these strangers with Maya and Ryan. I just always think that the slow reveal is a little better, okay? Because then we just already know that they're coming. There's like masked people coming for these people, like the entire movie. I just think it sets it up really poorly. So, personal opinion, right off the bat, I would just do a lot of like arm shots, the weapons. Forget creepy masked lady walking through, okay? Guy in mask. Then we're introduced to Maya and Ryan, okay? They are driving across the country because Maya has a job. Also, side note, this opening sequence, it's too bouncy and happy and positive. Bad. Something that I think is done so well in the initial Strangers movie is that right off the bat, there is so much tension between these characters, the couple in the beginning, because there's a failed proposal. He proposed, she says no, she's not ready. They come home to this cabin that they are staying in, and he's decorated it as if she was going to say yes, and they were going to have a very romantic night, okay? That is so upsetting, and so right away you're like, oh God, like you're mortified for them. You're on edge for them because this is already a nightmare scenario for anyone involved. And now we've got people with knives, you know? Like, that's crazy. So the fact that this couple is just happy, they're going on a trip, I don't like it. It feels totally poor. They go and they decide to stop over at a restaurant because he's hungry. They almost get into a collision with another car. He has asthma, but they're overall very jovial. He freaks out, starts having a little bit of an asthma attack. She gets his inhaler from his bag, and they end up leaving it in the car. It's a whole thing, okay? But they stop for food at this restaurant. The moment they pull up, it is very clear, hey, we don't want you here. There's a mechanic watching them. There's these weird children on bikes watching them. They go inside the diner. Immediately people look at them. And clearly this is the whole they don't need a reason. The reason is clearly they don't like that they're outsiders. That's what it is. They don't like these people, okay? It's fully a trap. This is a lure. They don't need a reason. It's just like, it doesn't even seem like there's any particular thing that they said or did aside from exist that upset these people. Fair, understandable. But if I was in this scenario, okay, as someone who travels alone regularly and has done the roadside diner because I just need food randomly on a road trip, okay, while traveling alone, everything that's about to happen, I would sooner hitchhike and walk to the nearest intersection than do any of this. These people, there's a reason. The reason I walked out of this movie is because this is not a horror movie. This is a comedy of errors, and these people pissed me off immensely, okay? That is why I walked out. Just no common sense. The movie itself, I was just like, I don't like where this is going. They're paying for their food. In the initial The Strangers, there's a failed proposal, okay? In this instance, they have been together for 5 years, and he has not popped the question seemingly, okay? Or at the very least, they don't want to get married, okay? Marriage themes. So they go to pay, and that's when Maya gets her eyes caught on the poster behind them that's showing the missing poster. Now, we, the audience, know that it's the guy that got killed in the intro, but they talk about how he came through here. Oh my gosh, hope he didn't have the turkey melt. No, he did. Okay, then they go outside. The car will not start. The mechanic walks up. Something wrong with your car? Back and forth, okay? Your car is missing a thing. It's not working, X, Y, and Z. We can get this part. We have to go to the city. Oh, can we do that tonight? No, we can go in the morning. Is there a hotel we can say? Oh, there's a motel, but it's out. I don't know why they didn't do the motel element. They didn't. It's fine. It's fine. We'll move along. Okay, maybe I have to make that movie. Apparently there's one Airbnb in town that's a hunting cabin. The waitress is like, oh yeah, I can drive you guys up there, no problem, whatever. And Maya's like, oh my gosh, that'd be really great. Thank you. I just want some self-preservation, something. Maybe even actually, we're going to try and find our own option, then them getting increasingly frustrated when they realize they really have no options. No one can come and get them. They can't go stay in the city. They can't do X, Y, and Z. And then Them walking back inside to the diner with their tail between their two legs. Hey, can we please get the number of that Airbnb? Sorry, nothing else panned out. Our backup ride failed. Something that just like builds up the tension a little bit more to show them that they are truly trapped here, or at least that this is their only option. Then there's also these children, which I'm assuming are going to be a bigger deal later, but they have these weird pamphlets like, oh, this is how you get saved or whatever. I don't know. It's like are they going to make it a Jesus thing? Waitress gives them a ride to the cabin. They go to put the beer in the fridge. The fridge is out. She's like, okay, I'll call him. Again, they're staying here for one night while they get their car fixed. So she calls the Airbnb owner. Hi, can you send someone out at night to fix the fridge? That's Karen behavior, because what do you mean? You're here for one night. Why do you need the fridge? It's beer. Drink it. What? Maya repeatedly does this thing that drives me off the wall in the first part of this movie, where she just goes outside for seemingly no particular reason. She takes this phone call outside. Why? Who knows? She goes outside to do this phone call, so we get the perspective of the strangers watching her. Cool, love it, fine, that's fine. Why is she outside for this phone call, okay? Because then later she decides to, smoke a joint, because why not, lessen your senses just a little bit more. She doesn't go outside for that, but then when she thinks someone is trying to get into the house, she steps outside for that too. Like, choices are made that I think are stupid here repeatedly, and this is why I left the movie. The couple's inside the house, and this is what I asked Twitter. I asked men on Twitter specifically, and men, feel free to respond. When you have a peephole, do you check it before opening a door at night? I get in your apartment building, maybe you feel safe, whatever. When you're a cabin in the woods, would you not look out the peephole when you know that you have no vehicle and no one really knows that you're there and you're just visiting for the night? Would you not look out the peephole before you opened the door? No, you wouldn't? Okay, because that's what Ryan doesn't do, because they get the knock on the door. They're fooling around, okay, on the counter. They're making out, trying to take their clothes off. It's a very prolonged thing, but they get opens the door. It's pitch black outside. Now, it's not like in the initial Strangers, I'm going to keep doing this, where it's darker in the house so that the porch being dark, they're in a dark neighborhood, that the lights being out on the porch, like us not being able to see this girl's face, that's understandable in the initial one. The house is super bright. It's super well lit in this movie. So I don't know why that makes sense here. I don't know. But you can't see her. Is Tamra home? No, you got the wrong house. Sorry, bye. And then she just leaves. They both need more self-preservation instincts, because even Maya is not like, no, don't open the door. Like, even that, if she had done that, I would have been fine. She leaves and goes to the corner and is just standing out at the corner, flips the light, not even at all concerned that they're in the middle of nowhere, like, oh, where did she come from, whatever. They fool around. Then they have the conversation. Apparently Maya told him when they started dating that they didn't want to get married, but that was 5 years ago. And then now she's like, you could surprise me or not surprise. Now it's like, oh no, I totally will marry you. Back and forth. Again, no hostility. No, I'm not willing to get married. Nothing. Randomly, he gets worked up by his asthma again, and he goes to check his bag, and she's like, oh my God, I forgot to put it back in the bag. I'm so sorry. And he's like, that's okay. There's a motorcycle outside. I'll just drive that back to the car and get my inhaler. And then she's like, oh, also, I'm hungry. Get me some food. When did it stop recording my video? William's gonna make fun of me again. Oh God. This is my phone. I don't leave anywhere with my phone. Maya kept setting it down, which was weird. Again, especially when I'm traveling as well, I'm like, maybe it's just my paranoia. I don't leave this thing around just in case. The girl starts pounding on the door again. She's like, oh, I gotta call you back. It's probably Ryan, which why would he do that? You know that. And then, is Tamra here? No, we already told you there's no Tamra here. Again, then locks the door once they're walking away. While Ryan is just taking the longest ride back to the auto shop possible, Maya is just being psychologically tormented slightly by these strangers, but she doesn't realize she's being psychologically tormented because she's kind of a little dumb. It drove me insane. So she leaves her phone on the table to go check the door. While she is checking the door and looking through the peephole, still without pants on, because of course, because horror movie, someone takes her phone and moves her phone to a whole different spot. She hears creaking upstairs. Does not go to check, not really. Just make sure the door is locked. Goes and looks for her phone, is not seemingly at all concerned that she heard creaking and that her phone is in a new spot. No, she just starts playing records and smoking a joint. Steps outside to look around at a different spot of the house. Like she goes through like the kitchen door or something. Stupid. I don't like it. She goes and plays the piano for a little bit. And there is a very cool scene that I do like the concept of, but also annoyed me. She's playing piano, and Wikipedia calls him Scarecrow. We see in the mirror behind her that he is sitting in the rocking chair listening to her play. And then cuts back. He's gone. Okay? Teleporting. She goes and takes a shower. He is just watching her shower right there while she's shampooing her hair with her eyes closed. He's just on the other side of the glass. No self-preservation instincts whatsoever. Like, I don't know. If Hermes comes around the corner through the carpet, I know he's there. You know, like, it's like, to be that, I think the distance is what's throwing me off, because it's one thing if they were like just clearly in the home. Like, that's something I think the original Strangers did really well, was like, clearly, if you were watching, it made you uncomfortable because you could see the strangers walking in the background, watching them from the background, but it was never super obvious the way that it is here. Like, it wasn't so in your face of like, oh yes, if Maya had 2 more brain cells, this would be really scary right now. There's times where it's like she senses them leaving almost, it seems, but never senses them being there. The power goes out as she's blow drying her hair, I think it was. She goes and tries to find the breaker box with her phone light and then is trying to get it. As she's opening, turns the corner, she sees one of the masks ladies approach her, starts screaming, runs, hides, keeps her phone light pointed up. Turn that shit off. What are you doing? I get crying, I get being scared. Hide your phone light. No, just illuminating the bottom of the door, because Ryan finds her immediately because the light was shining out. Sorry, let's jump back to Ryan. Ryan is gone. He gets to the automaker shop. He unlocks the car with his phone, gets his inhaler out. As he closes it's the auto shop guy walks up. He's like, I thought you were a car thief. Holds up a tire iron like it's this really scary thing. And it's not like a haha, I'm just joking with you. No, he thought that was scary. Okay, then he rides the motorcycle to another spot where some of the other people from the diner were, which is clearing some of them, okay? At the very least, from them being the strangers. Gets the food, leaves, goes back, finds Maya, obviously. And Maya's like, no, someone's in the house. She's scared, all this stuff. I know where the breaker is. She's looking around. She's terrified. They get the breaker box, and she's like, there was someone here. It was right there. They were in a scary clown mask or whatever. And he sees further in the distance in the room. He was like, were you smoking? Yeah, I was a little bit, but like, I was fine. I know there was someone here. They cut the power. He sees in the bedroom, the door is open apparently, where the stranger was standing. There is a weird clown painting on the wall. He's like, that must have been what you saw. No, I heard people in this fucking house. There were people in here. No, nothing. We go and sit down and eat. Now, this is where, again, stupid. Scene from the trailer where they're eating and then blood starts dripping down onto the table and they realize that there is a chicken that has been butchered because there were chickens on site of this hunting cabin. Which, side note, he wasn't there. He wasn't living there. And yet there's just chickens there. Who's feeding the chickens? Are the strangers feeding the chickens? I would assume. They killed this one, slit its neck. And it seems to have just been timed well because I don't know why that doesn't, when you, in animal butchery, usually the blood happens a lot first, okay? And then to time the blood so perfectly that they are literally eating their messy burger meals. And then the blood stops dripping, that's okay. It's not high up enough that they wouldn't have seen the chicken when they went to go sit down. Like, I don't know how they wouldn't have seen that. That was stupid to me. I told you someone was in here. Go lock the doors now. Immediate high alert. Someone starts trying to get in the door. Someone starts breaking through the door, okay, with the axe, which apparently there's no special effects here. She just had to trust that they weren't going to take an axe to her head. Cool. I like that. That's fun. I don't know. I think they could have messed with them a little bit more from outside the house, but they wanted to be like, no. We were already inside that. Because they were already inside the house at that point. So I don't know why they wanted to make a big show about breaking into the house in this particular moment, but whatever. Break into the house, they run, they hide in a bedroom, close the door behind them, shut a dresser over it, okay? And they see on the back of the wall, they wrote hello in blood, the chicken's blood, I'm assuming. They decided to do arts and crafts. They don't hide behind the bed. They don't try and pretend they're not in that bedroom. They don't try and look for a weapon. They just blubber and cry. They hear music playing. They hear one of the strangers playing the same piano tune that she had been playing earlier. – Obviously terrifying because it's like, yeah, we were here the whole fucking time. That I like. Execution poor, but I get it. The stranger takes an axe to the door, gets the door open. They're just screaming and crying. He's like this, looks at them, leaves. Music stops. They walk out. He then is like, okay, wait here on this side of the room. Wait here. He goes in, doesn't get his head taken off, looks out. I think they're gone because he just walks away. Why would you think they were truly gone is my question. They try to get out through the door. Windows are boarded up already, which there was a lot of things here that I think could have indicated that this house was a lure. Because that's what I think the overall setup is that it looks like this hunting cabin is a lure. However, that doesn't seem to be what they were trying to do with this, which is why I think the motel would have been a better move. Because the motel, it's like, oh yeah, no, like, yeah, a third of the people that stay here, maybe, or 1/8, okay, go missing and are brutally murdered, okay? Who knows? Never to be found again. But this cabin in particular, it's set up in a way where it's like, yes, this is a lure, this whole thing is a trap, so that these three people can just kill rich people that they don't like, that seemingly have a nice car, whatever, the outsiders that they don't like, okay? Like the window being boarded up, I don't know what the point of that was or why that would be happening in this random hunting cabin, because it's not bolted, it's not covered up in a way where it's like, oh, to prevent the trees from coming in during a storm. It's bolted up like a, you're stuck in here, bitch. That's how it's like boarded up. So, which would imply that like, oh yeah, no, we know that you're gonna run for the bedroom. We already thought of that. Move the dresser, make a lot of noise, leave. Why you wouldn't assume that they're just somewhere else messing with you? Why did they leave? Oh, because they're messing with us. Yeah, no, obviously. Stupid. They say, okay, let's get to the motorcycle. They walk out, they try and find their phones. His phone has been perfectly smashed with a smiley face and blood drawn on it. Where's my phone? No time for that. Again, stop setting your fucking phones down. Her phone, you should know where that is, okay? And as from what I can see, they never find her phone or get her phone, so I'm assuming it'll come up in later chapters. As they're running out to the motorcycle, blows up. Scarecrow is there. Thing of gasoline, throws it down with his knife. Ready to go. Perfect timing. A dramatic bitch, if you will, Scarecrow. They run back inside, lock themselves in a bathroom. Was this when they started playing the music? I don't know. They started playing the music again. The stranger's now back inside. One of the women lean against Scarecrow. Tender moment, okay? There's something here. They're partners. But this is where I think something here could have been cool. That could have been done later. They lock themselves in the bathroom trying to find a weapon. Take a razor, something, anything, okay? Window also boarded up, I believe, in the bathroom. Or there's no window in the bathroom. Maya was an architect and she's like, oh my God, this house has a raised foundation. This is the one smart thing that they did. Opens up the vent. And they're able to go inside the crawl space of the house. Close the vent behind them even. Why they couldn't just stay their asses in the crawl space, I don't know. Sure, the idea is that eventually they will find them, okay? Especially because if this had been the whole thing like, oh, the Airbnb is a lure, they could have done something here where like we find pieces of clothes or something in the crawl space or like a shoe, something to imply that someone else has tried this in the past. So that we, at least as the audience, know there's no point in them staying here. They don't know that, but we know that. I would accept that. Like they know you're going to find your way to the crawl space at some point. They're going to find you anyway, okay? But that's not what happens here. They're moving quietly. We hear we hear the music above. We hear them moving around inside the house. They're just messing with them. They're not checking the bathroom, seemingly. They don't care that they lock themselves in the bathroom because they're just messing with them. Maybe they know they're in the crawl space. Who cares? Maya isn't looking, puts her hand right down on a rusty nail, stops herself from screaming. Ryan pulls it out, rips his shirt, wraps it, and they're like, get to the edge and decide they're going to make a run for the shed. Why? Maybe there's weapons there, sure, but I think if you just stay in the crawl space. The worst thing that could happen is that they set the house on fire. But if that's the case, then you have a little bit more time before they just think about doing that. I think they're going to take off to the woods first before they even think about that. They make a run for it. He trips because he's an idiot and drops his inhaler. If you think that this is going to come up later, evidently it does not. I figured after I left, I'll tell you the point where I left the movie, where I was like, I'm done. If you think the inhaler's coming up later because of his asthma is so severe, seemingly it does not, according to everything else that I've heard and checked. They run into the shed. She still has her lighter from when she smoked a doobie. Okay, so it's the lighter, third stranger, second lady, standing there, in there with them. They don't see her. Just moves back into the shadows as they continue to look around. He needs to sit because of his ankle, okay? Her hand hurts. They're like, oh my gosh, what can we do? What are we gonna do? They grab a hoe, a backhoe. I don't know why they didn't keep this. I don't know. Keep it. There's apparently an upstairs crawl space in this shed. And so he gives her the backhoe, okay? He's like, stay here. He goes and checks upstairs on the creakiest stairs of all time with his busted ass ankle. Be careful. How about shut the fuck up? How about stop? No, don't. It's too dangerous. They're going to know we're here. So she's down there, and then the stranger steps in to frame with the knife. She's like, Ryan, he's down here. As that's happening, okay, Scarecrow reaches through the glass and just grabs her and starts trying to choke her out with his axe because of course. And then there's gunshots. Ryan found a gun upstairs. Stranger flees. That stranger flees. Now, I don't know about you. That one was a warning shot. I get it, okay? I personally am violently allergic to regular, ordinary people villains that just are immune to getting shot. It drives me up the wall, okay? It makes me annoyed immensely, okay? This isn't Michael Myers. This is a dweeb in a mask. That's what this is, okay? It drives me crazy in every single slasher movie that I see lately because it seems to be like the new trope where it's like, no, he's big, he's evil personified. Oh my God, no, he's just a dude. Aim for the throat. But I will accept this one, okay, because it's a warning shot. You're safe, let's hug for a minute instead of running with the gun that we have. They start trying to get back to the house, okay, and they come up around the corner and they hear noise coming. Anyways, boom, I got him. He doesn't have a mask. Guy goes down. He's killed someone. I got him. It's okay. I don't know, babe. I don't know where his mask is. I think that's Joe. I think that's the landlord. I think that's the owner. Yeah, why'd you call him in the middle of the night? It was weird. Then they take a very long time with the gun set down to be like, you did it to protect us. You did it to protect us. He sees his keys. So he goes to grab it. He's like, we can get out of here. We can go to the car. They get in the car. They take far too long to get in the car and get the car running. She finds a phone. She's like, yes, grabs his phone. I'm assuming what happened is Scarecrow went to get the car once Joe pulled up in his car. He was like, all right, I guess I'm killing someone else tonight. Because let's say Joe's not involved in this lore. Okay, or whatever's going on here. He was at the very least getting his car in case they tried to flee. Regardless, they took too goddamn long. Scarecrow got his car and just rams into them, drives them off the road into a tree, trying to get at her through the glass. Was it the other stranger? The other stranger tried to get at her through the glass. Drive. Starts repeatedly ramming them. She's trying to get out. She's like, come on. And he's like, no, I can't go. My leg is stuck. Go, run. You have to run. She runs. She's got the phone. She takes off into the woods. This is where I left after this, okay? Because Scarecrow stops ramming him with the car and gets out and gets on the hood of the truck. His leg is still stuck, so he gets the gun, shoots him, does not kill Scarecrow. Scarecrow instead abandons him and takes off after Maya. He manages to take the gun, which I don't know. I was told you're not supposed to do this. I'm not a gun person. But he takes the butt of the rifle to bang against the door. Again, it's loaded. Bang against the door to get his leg loose with a car pressed up against it. And he's between a tree. Gets himself out of the car. Breaks through the windshield. The truck that rammed them, that's still running. He does not get the keys. He does not get in the truck. No, doesn't take the keys even so that they can't escape either because now you're stuck in the woods with me. No. Just leaves the truck as is and hobbles off into the woods with the shotgun to go after Maya because that's where Scarecrow went after Maya. That's where I left because that physically upset me. I was like, no, now you're just making me mad. I left the theater. I watched Gigi's video, okay? Basically, I didn't miss a whole lot. I think it's the last 30 minutes of the movie. Maya tries to call. There's no signal, okay? She then, instead of running continuously, because I don't know about you, I'm running till my legs are dislocated. I'm running till I lose a toe, okay? I'm not stopping. I've talked about this previously. Inside a home, inside the woods, whoever lives there or has been there longer, I assume they know it better than me. There is no point in hiding. If you break into my apartment, you better pray because I know this space better than you. I know where I've hid things. If I go to someone's home in a rural area and their backyard was the woods, I'm not trying to hide from them. I'm expecting that they know the woods better than me. Why would you hide? Here, run. The official Swell Entertainment motto, if you are being hunted in something else's home, run. Don't hide. Run, don't hide, okay? Anyways, she gets abducted, okay? She gets captured. Apparently, Ryan finds one of the girl's strangers, holds the rifle to her head, and is like, why are you doing this? Why shouldn't I kill you? She starts being crazy. Yeah, why don't you kill her? Apparently, there's a line, they say your first kill is the hardest. You're my second. And then he doesn't kill her. Ryan, you're an idiot. Anyways, he gets whacked by Scarecrow. They wake up tied to chairs. Ryan says, marry me, and then he gets stabbed. Why are you doing this to us? Because you were home. Then they stab Maya. Down. Cut. Later, Maya is in a hospital recovering. End of chapter 1. Okay, hold on. According to the plot here on Wikipedia, both wake up tied to chairs in the house. In the last moment, Ryan offers to marry Maya, which she accepts. As they sob together, Ryan is fatally stabbed and his chair is knocked over, causing him to choke on his own blood. Maya asks why they're doing this, to which they simply say, because you're here. She is then stabbed and knocked over as well. Police sirens are heard in the distance and the perpetrators speed away. Maya wakes in a hospital bed, having survived the night. She rises from the bed and doesn't notice Scarecrow lying next to her. Few things. Again, so Scarecrow, Dollface, and Pinup Girl are the particular strangers that we have here. They do something here that the other Strangers movies don't do, which is they cover all of the girl's hair, okay? And the other one, there is a very clear blonde-haired girl, okay? And it's because probably that it's one of the brunettes that they saw at the start of the movie, but they don't want us to know that because reasons. Something that I think could have been interesting here is that the strangers that we see in the other movies, because it does seem like, oh, how did the strangers become the strangers? This is essentially like a prequel, sequel situation. I think that there was something they could have done here where, again, I like the hotel element. It gives more like, oh yeah, who is running the motel situation, whatever, okay? But no, the cabin in the woods, I get it, it's scary. Overdone at this point, I think. Let's move along. Or even the masks that they have are not the iconic Strangers masks that we're used to seeing, because these essentially are the same masks that the others have. Don't have the mask and you do a Jason Voorhees situation where it's just like a bag sack. It's just like a sack over their heads, something. And then throughout the chapters, we see them get their masks. We see things change and shift and see how they become into themselves as the strangers. Instead of just, this is very calculated and controlled on their part. This is not the first time that they've done this, which we know obviously from the opening kill. Even that, it's not like oh, this was fun, let's do it again with this weird couple that are pissing us off, that are rude because they exist. And then even then it's like, oh, it pays to be good tippers, right? They seem to have tipped well because that's what the waitress said. They're just going after them because they're different than them, is what it seems like, which I think is poor motivation, frankly. And the whole point, it's like, oh yeah, they don't need a reason. But that's not, that's just, I don't like it. I don't think it's good. I walked out. I don't think I missed anything. We'll see. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I will watch the next chapter. I will watch chapter 3 even. Okay, maybe I'll have a different opinion once I see all 3 of them together. But currently, I'm glad Ryan's dead. Ryan and Maya had poor chemistry. I don't think that worked. At least now, she can avenge him. I don't know. Maybe she just becomes like an insane final girl. Who knows? Maybe she becomes a stranger. Ooh, could that be the twist? That could be good. So again, one of the things that, like I said, I hate when like the characters are allergic to being shot in the head. I mean, technically everyone's allergic to being shot in the head, but like you get my point. I think that what would have been very impactful for the movie and would have really like shirked expectations is if you had just killed Scarecrow very early, okay, in this first movie. You kill him first. You kill the supposed ringleader. When they shoot him out of the car, if Ryan had successfully killed him in the car and then ran off after Maya, like they think they're getting away, and then maybe, because again, we saw that tender moment between Pinup Girl and Scarecrow. Or maybe even showing one of the strangers being kind of like maybe not all into the plan versus just all being vicious, bloodthirsty people for whatever reason. Some type of a shakeup, something slightly different. That would have been good, maybe. But no, that's not what we get here. It's almost like a poorly remade version of the original. There's a lot of consistencies that just don't work well in this iteration, I don't think. Maybe chapter 2 will make me completely rethink this first part of the movie. But frankly, already I'm glad Ryan is dead. When's the next one coming out? How long? Fall 2024 is what the Reddit is saying. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the owner of the Airbnb is trying to go through the front door and you hear his keys jangling before he gets shot, but there's a giant fucking hole in the door. Why the fuck is he trying to use his keys to get into the house? Why is he not questioning the fucking hole? Yeah, would you not be like, oh my God, what's going on? And then even then, it's like you would knock if you knew you had guests in the house. You wouldn't just enter the house. But then there's also a hole in the door, so you'd be like, oh my God, are you guys okay? What's going on? What's this hole? You know, if they hadn't killed the owner, that would have been interesting, because then it's like, at this point in time, we know the strangers are terrorizing them, and they know they're willing to kill a chicken. They know they'll probably kill them, because like that's just the implication. But I think it would have been so much more impactful on Ryan and Maya if the strangers themselves had killed the owner. I just think there were changes that could have been made that would have been like oh yes, they know how in danger they are, versus just like, surprise, we're fucking with you. Just saw this tonight, truly terrible. We'll see the next one. It will probably be worse. And then go see the third one, which will probably be the worst one. Only to see in the end, I'm the dumb one who just wasted 6 hours watching them all. Oh yeah, I forgot about the statistic read off at the beginning. The beginning tells you this is one of the most brutal crimes to ever occur. Turns out it's one single guy gets stabbed one time, then dies. I am livid. If it wasn't bad enough, the trailers lie to you about being an origins tale. Even the movie lies to you as you watch it. This is infuriating. This was infuriating. Literally all vehicles make no noise when driving up to the house, but I can hear every gasp, creak, and sob of the main characters. The killers teleport around the property, even within the same shot. How do they sprint through a room without a sound? And the couple makes baffling decisions. I honestly laughed at the end and begged for something to surprise me, but it was just the original in a different setting. A few scares were fun, but that's about it. There's no way the next two get released. Holy shit. I hope you do. I hope you just release it. Honestly, if I were you, release them now. I would really speed run this stuff. Don't bother with the marketing. It would be honestly probably better marketing if you just released it and then just told a bunch of YouTubers, hey, they're out. I'm not even kidding. The Wikipedia says that the budget was $8.5 million. I don't know if that's just for the first one or if all of them. Box office, it's currently at $32.1 million. I don't know if you guys will make up the cost for all 3 movies in one go. Anyways, that's going to be it. Did you watch The Strangers? Are you mad I made a review of a movie that I walked out of? Will you be watching Chapter 2 and Chapter 3? Do you have any changes that you think would have worked well for this movie? Do you think this should have been an all-out origin story? Do you think it's still trying to be an origin story, but we're not getting that yet? Let me know. Comment down below. Reminder, I stream on Twitch. Reminder that Swell Entertainment is now available on Spotify. Reminder, you can use code SWELL for 10% off on gamer subs. Shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon. If you also explore my Patreon, that was down below. That's on my social media. That'll be all up here. And that's me. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. Because you were here, I don't think works in this context.
Thank you, Oz, Eva, Ayana, Abby, Angel, Goth, Glynn, Palace, Pink, Jasmine, Lauren, Amy, Aslan, Medic, Rosie, Victor, Andrew, Tenzin, Sam, Mae West, Michael, Ryan, Adira, Nathan, Zwink, Literal, Jeffrey, Randy, QWERTY, Nomad, Thomas, Tasha, Donnie, Winter, Kenny, Robert, Cameron, Elliott.